What's going on my fantasy basketball fans out there? Welcome to the Score Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I'm Waiver Wire Queen, and today I'm going to do my first ever fantasy basketball mock draft on the Sleeper app. So, give me a few seconds and we'll jump right into this mock draft. Fantasy basketball is here. You are joining me because you are trying to prepare for the upcoming season so you can stay ahead of your competition and win your league, because that is the ultimate goal. We're not playing for fun. We playing to win. All right. I mean, winning is fun. So, y'all know what it is out here when it comes to winning. So let me get ready to share my screen so you can see a little bit of the sleeper app. And what I will do in another video is I will actually do a tutorial on how to create a league using the Sleeper app. For my fantasy basketball, I normally use Yahoo. That's just what I trust right now. Sleeper app, they do have a platform for basketball, but my preference is a bit different than what they are doing right now. So I'm gonna give them some time to get up to speed, and then we'll probably probably move to Sleeper app as well for our fantasy basketball too. So this is pretty much the the sleeper platform for the fantasy basketball, and it really looks the same as the mock draft platform for fantasy football. So I'm gonna get ready to do it. Let's get ready to start the draft. All right, so up here, get to start the draft. So I'm doing this mock draft alone. I am the only individual in here. So let's go. Let's get ready to start. Let's see. Ooh, jumping into it quick. So we're hosting our league in Yahoo this year. As you can see, wow, first pick Harden. That's not a bad pick. Harden has the capabilities of averaging a triple double on several nights. So I'm going with Zion Williamson. I want to see Zion Williamson increase his assist totals. I expected his assist totals to be much higher. He only averaged 3. I think it's going to increase because Lonzo is no longer there, and he is going to have the ball in his hands even more than what he does. So now my goal is to try to decide between Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Can't go wrong. With LeBron, you're going to get more rebounds and assists. But so I'm going to just go with King James because I still feel like in fantasy, LeBron James is top 5. You'll see some rankings, and he is no longer in the top 5. He's definitely still in the top 20. In my opinion, LeBron James is still King James and in the top 5. He's definitely in my top 5. When you can still average 26, 8 and 8, because I'm going to say 8 and 8, pretty much close to a triple double, you're definitely top 5. See, Melo went fairly early. That was someone I was looking at. Another player I'm high on is Ja. I expect him to elevate and take it to the next level this year and increase his totals and assists and scoring. He's obviously the best player on his team, and he is someone you should not ignore. Now I'm gonna go down here a bit, and I'm gonna take Jaylen Brown, and I like Jaylen Brown for the purposes of I'm gonna get scoring, efficient scoring too, rebounds, assists, and he's a solid defender, so you can add some steals and some blocks in there. So Jaylen Brown, when it comes to the Celtics, is my favorite player to draft because I am getting more than just scoring. I'm getting a little bit of everything at an efficient level. So Jaylen Brown is a solid add. Some other players I like. I'm gonna be honest, I normally draft John Collins in every league, but his scoring it's all right. It's there, but it's a bit down now that Trae Young is in town. I really like Jared Allen. He's 12 and 10. I want to see that go to 15 16 and 13 on the season. Definitely will get you a double-double. So if you are looking for a double-double machine, he is definitely someone to consider. So I'm gonna take Lonzo here just so I can talk a little bit about him. I feel like he's going to get back to playing more of style of basketball that he is accustomed to playing, having the ball in his hand, and he's going to be getting his teammates more involved. So you can expect his assist totals to go up. I feel like he has some solid players around him on the Bulls. So he still should be a solid 3-point shooter. So pretty much when I'm looking at Lonzo, I expect rebounds, assists, and solid 3-point percentage, great defense. So if you're looking at a guard who's going to play great defense and get you some assists, Lonzo, I'm sorry, not just assists and steals, Lonzo will do that. So defense, steals, blocking, Lonzo is definitely the guard you would go to. I'm gonna reach here a bit just because I want to talk about this young player right here, Kevin Porter Jr. I want to talk about him because he's going to be starting this year. I'll go with my other guy. So a few sleepers I have. So Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be starting this year full time for the Houston Rockets. They have a really talented backcourt in Porter and Jalen. So Jalen Green. So you can expect Porter to be, to me, a 20-point scorer, and I would love to see him push for 8, possibly 10 assists. He averaged 6 assists on the season, so I'm looking forward to seeing if he can increase those totals. So another player I like as a sleeper, and I'm doing this draft with the purposes of adding players I feel are sleepers and just some players that I can kind of touch on a bit on why I feel like these players are sleepers. So I got Spencer Dinwiddie. I'll talk about him. So let me just grab my sleepers who I think are deep sleepers in fantasy basketball league. So Spencer Dinwiddie is another sleeper guard. He's going to be starting. He didn't play much last year due to injuries. He's going to be starting full time with the Washington Wizards. So I expect him to average his 20 points and maybe 6-7 assists, and he's going to shoot a solid percentage from the field. So in a sleeper, I mean in a categories based league or points based league, he's a nice add. And then I'll talk about a few more. Let me grab another one of my players on this list who I look at as a sleeper. Let's go. Check with these centers. I want to say that Lauri Markkanen has the potential this year, but they have a log jam there. I'm going to go with a player that I'm going to say one of my do not draft players. So I'll take a do not draft player for you guys just to talk a little bit about my do not draft players. Okay. So let's go back up to Norman Powell. Norman Powell is going to see an increase in minutes. One, because Melo has left the building. He's definitely going to get his normal 18 points. He's going to get you 18 points. He's not going to do much of anything else, but he's going to shoot a nice percentage from 3. So he's a player that I would look to add to my bench. And on nights where we have several issues like load management, which I know we all love. So you got load management, you got COVID, you have injuries, and you have players who will be off. You have several things to consider and rest when you are building your team. So Norman Powell is capable of starting for you on a night where one of your players is out due to those 5 reasons I mentioned, and he's going to get you points and he's going to shoot a nice 3-point percentage. So for him, I would say points basically. Now in categories, you would just look to him for a solid 3-point percentage, because that's all he's going to do is get you his 18 and have a nice 3-point percentage. Let's look at another player that I like as a sleeper, Mitchell Robinson. I like him as a late sleeper if he can stay healthy. Health is wealth, and it's obviously the most important thing. I don't care if you're a 20 and 10 guy. If you are incapable of staying healthy, then guess what? You're not going to be on the court, so you're no good to me. Mitchell Robinson has the talent. He just isn't capable of staying healthy. If he can stay healthy, he will start for the Knicks. And well, I'll say he should start for the Knicks, but you just never know with the Knicks. But if he can stay healthy and start, he is capable of averaging a double double and throwing in a few blocks. So he can get you 10 and 12, maybe even 13 rebounds and a block here or there. However, it is all about health. People tend to skip over him in drafts because he's never healthy. So if he can stay healthy, he's definitely someone that I would check for to complete my roster and be one of the centers to come off my bench. Okay, a player I drafted, but I have him on my do not draft list is Kevin Love, and a few reasons are: is how many games has Kevin Love played over the last years, and how long has the Cleveland Cavaliers been trading Kevin Love to a contender? Probably about the last three plus years. So Kevin Love, he's on a team that's in rebuild. They have several young players at his same position of power forward and center. So he's not going to play. So what will be the point of drafting him? Waste that draft pick on a player who is going to be available and who's going to play for you. Okay, because he to me is not going to see much time, and they need to buy him out and let him move on somewhere else. But would I pick him up? No, I would not, because I don't see him having much of a role on this team. And then you got to uh, think about the fact that they even traded for Laurie Marketing. So you got Powell, Laurie Marketing, Mobley, Jared Allen. You have the bigs that you want for your rebuild. Kevin Love's not a part of that. So I'm not wasting draft capital on him. He hasn't played much over the last few seasons. Let's see who else is on my do not. Yes. Let me go on and pick. I can't believe Joker didn't go first, but Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis is on my do not draft list. And again, going back to that health is wealth, availability is very important to me. If I can find his name here, I will pick him up. I will click on it. Yeah, here we go. That is just important. Like if you are incapable of playing a full season, he's not even playing half of a season. Okay, so let's look at the totals going back to 2016: 66 games, 48 games, 57 games, 43 games. I mean, he's just not available. The talent is there. You're going to get 20 and 10 from him and a nice field goal percentage, and he's going to stretch the floor and hit some threes. However, he's not available. I'd rather have the 15 and 10 guy who's available, because hell, I'm going to be able to utilize his 15 and 10, opposed to having someone who is going to give me 20 and 10, 20 and 12, and he's only going to play about 40 games per season. So he's always been one of my favorite players to draft, because the talent, again, is there. However, the availability is not. So I need you to be available in order to be on my roster. So I'm not checking for him this year. First year, I'm going to just pass him by and move on and look for something else. Michael Porter is going to go off this year. You can expect an increase from Michael Porter. The kid is super talented. He averaged 19, 20 points per game last season. I can see that going up to 22, 23. He is on a team where you have the Joker, who's going to make him better, because Joker's going to look to pass that ball. And then you got Jamal Murray returning from injury. They have the talent around him, and he's just super talented. He got a chance to play in the postseason and have that experience. So part of that is going to make him an even better player. So you should see an increase in his stats. I would love to see him increase his rebounds and add some assists to that total, and play a little defense. It's not too much to ask. Play a little more defense, but definitely want to see his rebounds increase a bit. I think he should be a double-double guy, and sprinkle in a little assist. Okay, Joker's damn near average a triple double this past season. Who else? Oh, Paul George is on my must draft list. It's crazy. In this draft, he went in the third round. Let's be real. We do not know if and when Kawhi Leonard is going to play this season. He may. I don't know. We don't know. So who is going to be the top dog? It's going to be Paul George. He showed signs of being capable of leading that team during the postseason this past year. So I'm expecting his stats to increase. He averaged 23 points. I expect to see that increase drastically. He's going to have the ball in his hands more. So I expect to see an increase in assists, steals. Also realize he plays great defense. So um, you're going to get steals and blocks. So you're going to get everything from him. So third round, maybe a little bit late for me. I'm checking for him early on. So if I can't, I'm definitely checking for him early because I know other people will too. So third round is pushing it. So if you can't get him early in the first, you definitely need to scoop him up in that second round because he's not going to be available in that third round. Like if I had the 10th picking back to back and say players like Zion and LeBron isn't there, I'm definitely looking at Paul George in my first pick in the second round because I don't feel like he's going to be there in the third round for where I'm trying to draft him. So, yes, Ben Simmons went very early in this draft. What, the fourth round? I'm not sure where Ben Simmons should go because you got to realize, like, who the hell knows when he's going to play this year? Now, one thing I will say with Ben Simmons is he is going to give you pretty much almost a triple double. So you'll see like 13, 14 points, 7, 8 rebounds, 7, 8 assists. So that's really good. And he's going to give you steals and rebounds. So he's really good statistically for fantasy purposes. Not worrying about the free throw shooting. Come on over to Waiver Wire Queen and I'll teach you how to shoot some free throws. However, we do not know if he's going to play this year. So you're going to see people passing him by. Now I'm going to treat his situation kind of like how I treated my Watson situation in fantasy football. I just figured out the perfect round to draft him. Right now, I feel like he's going much higher than where he should possibly go because you don't know if and when he's going to play. He hasn't reported, and he looks like he is not going to report. So he may not even play this season, right? They're going to have to move on from him. So, they got to do what they got to do. I like what he brings to the table in regards to the defense and assist rebounds. And like I said, he will get you 14, 15 points, but you just can't expect him to be out there hitting threes and stuff because that's really not his game. So we'll see. Let's see. Any other players here I want to mention quickly? I got Porter. Okay, let's talk about his backcourt mate, Jalen Green. Rookie. Very talented. 18, 20 points is my projection for him this season. His field goal percentage is not going to be that great. It's rookie. But he's going to get you about 18, 20 points. Definitely a player. If I'm in a dynasty league, I will consider drafting him as one of my building blocks for the long-term future in my fantasy basketball dynasty league. So consider him as well. All right, y'all. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Score Fantasy Basketball Podcast for more. I'm Waiver Wire Queen. Y'all have a great evening. Peace.